What is up, everyone? Welcome into the Warzone Sports Network. We decided to go live because all hell is breaking loose in the NFL. We came on to talk about the Raiders and the Chargers loading up and getting ready to go to war. And while we are about to hit the button, Deshaun Watson, not to the Chargers loading up and getting ready to go to war. And while we are about to hit what is going on? Deshaun Watson.
Why are we hearing this twice?
It's because I was live in the background. Sorry for the technical difficulties. Deshaun Watson, not to Atlanta, not to Carolina, not to New Orleans, all the teams that we thought he was going to go to, but Deshaun Watson, in a sudden turn of events, is going to be a Cleveland Brown. What? Joe, the reaction. The trade is going to be astronomical. Nick Chubb, Greedy Williams, and 5 picks.
It won't be all that. It's gonna be a crazy trade, but I'm gonna have to wait and see. It's gonna be a big trade. But I don't know. Why would Deshaun Watson want to come to the AFC? Why? Get your ass out of the AFC.
I do not
because
know.
do not see what the NFC West has been, or the AFC West has been doing. Do not see what the Raiders just did, what the Chargers have been doing. The AFC is loaded. Go over there so you only have to compete with Tom Brady. That's the only team that you had to compete with was Tom Brady. And now you go, you know what? I'll go to Cleveland where careers go to die.
Yeah, I mean, careers do go to die in Cleveland. I think that it has to be about the money. I saw that the offer that Cleveland put was like $50 million more than his old contract.
$230 million guaranteed, all 5 years guaranteed for a guy. And the Browns week 1 starter for the Browns will be Case Keenum. Because Deshaun Watson's still going to get suspended. He's still going to get suspended. This is the Browns being the Browns.
I think he is going to get suspended.
Yes.
Oh, man, what a move. And I'm just upset that they stayed in the AFC. Like, I'm tired of this AFC crap. We came on here to talk about blockbuster trades from the NFC to AFC already. And now Watson is staying in the AFC, going to the AFC North where Burrow and Lamar Jackson are already playing. And he's potentially the best quarterback in that division now, by the way, if he can still play at the level that he was playing at. And now another team that has an elite quarterback or a really good quarterback are going to miss the playoffs. Jesus. Yeah, I thought for sure he was going to New Orleans or Atlanta.
Yeah, I thought for sure he was going to Atlanta. I knew Orleans wasn't going to be it, but woo! Deshaun Watson to Cleveland. I want us to come on. If you guys know, if you guys are watching on TikTok, please come over to the Warzone Sports Network on YouTube. But guys,
okay. Well, what does this mean for Cleveland, right? They got Amari Cooper there. They just lost Austin Hooper to the Titans, but that's not really a big loss. Donovan Peoples-Jones, Rashard Higgins left. They don't really have a crazy amount of wide receivers. Are they going to bring someone in? Are they going to call up Jarvis back and be like, hey, bro, we actually might need you?
Yeah, hey, just kidding. JK.
We might need you. I need to see this trade because if Nick Chubb's in the trade, the Browns are going to be in trouble.
I don't think Nick Chubb's in the trade. I think Kareem Hunt's going to be in the trade.
You think so? I don't know. Yeah. I think that, one, Houston would rather have Nick Chubb. And I think, two, what's his name? Hunt fits a Deshaun Watson-led offense a little better in the passing game. But who knows, right? Who knows?
Raiders!
What if Amari Cooper's in the trade?
Yeah.
Krusty's here. What's up, Krusty?
Mike, I'm just going to hit a Raiders real quick because I know you love when I do it. Raiders!
I've heard that chant more than I've ever heard it. I was in SoFi surrounded by Raiders fans, and in the last couple of days I've heard it more than I did then.
It's just 5 picks, they believe, is what 999 more is saying. If you guys want to comment on our post, if you guys come to YouTube, we can't really keep track of TikTok and YouTube at the same time. So we ask that you guys come and comment on our YouTube, Warzone Sports Network on there. Mike and I are live. We were going to talk all strictly AFC West because we're both Charger fans. or not. We're not both Charger fans.
Yeah, we are.
I'm a Raider fan, but we're both AFC West fans, and we're going to talk about that.
Yeah.
But then when Deshaun Watson's news breaks, it's like this was the news that everybody's been waiting for, and this is the news that Tony thought I was going to break to him yesterday on our show, but instead I told him about Davante Adams. So we're a day late on it. Hey, but big money handed out by the Cleveland Browns to Deshaun Watson. Still got to see what the big deal is. Still got to see if he's going to get suspended. But he's got to play the Raiders. And I just posted on TikTok that the Raiders are the team to beat. The Raiders are the team that everybody's coming after. Commitment to excellence. That's what I'm talking about, Mike.
Yeah, the Raiders made a big move yesterday as well. Where were the Browns set to pick in the draft? Were they top 10? They weren't, were they? Let me see. I'm trying to look for it right now. Oh, they had 13th overall. So that pick is going to be Houston now. And Houston also has a pick inside the top 10. And they may have second, third, and fourth, and fifth round picks from Cleveland. I don't even know. They might have every single pick Cleveland has.
Speaking about 13th overall, Mike, I don't know if you know this, but they say what the Raiders gave up, the first, the number 22 overall pick, their first and second round pick, equaled the, because, if you guys don't know this, everybody should know this. There's a draft trade chart. So if you find that trade chart, that's what most people go off of, right? And they go, the number 1 pick is worth this much, and the number 2 pick is worth this much. And it goes all the way through the 7th round. And then the year after, so like we're in 2022, 2023 draft picks are worth 1 round later. So a first round pick is actually equivalent to a second round pick this year. Anyways, every trade value chart is like that. So if you go, I want to trade for the number 1 pick, you need to know how many points you need to add up to get to that number 1 pick to move up there. Well, the Raiders gave up a first and a second round pick for Davante Adams. The value of those 2 picks, number 13 overall this year.
It's not a bad.
Raiders basically gave up a number 13 overall pick, which the number 13 overall pick is what now? Deshaun Watson?
It's not a bad deal. And let's just get into that. Let's talk about this Davante Adams deal. And I kind of want to, you want to, at the end of this, kind of like give both of our power rankings in the AFC West now, because I think we can move some teams down that are used to being at the top. But as far as the Davante Adams trades goes, it's a good move by the Raiders. It's shocking to me that the Packers let him go that easy, not just for the trade compensation, but just overall, just trading him. What's going on? Why are you making that face?
3 first-round picks.
Oh, jeez.
And 2 additional picks.
That was kind of expected, I think. 3 firsts. If there's no players involved, definitely 3 firsts. Any players?
Not that I've seen yet, but we'll keep going. All right.
Yeah, that's what happens when news breaks right before you go on the air, right? Or while you're on the air, just everything gets mucky. But yeah, I think it's a good move by the Raiders. Unfortunately for me, I didn't take into account, and I didn't even know this, honestly, and this is something I should have known, that Davante Adams grew up a diehard Raiders fan, and I did not know that. I just thought that he had the connection to Carr because they played in college. But it seems like Davante Adams moved to Vegas solely to fulfill a dream of being a Las Vegas Raider or Oakland Raider, Los Angeles Raider, whatever he grew up watching. That makes me want to vomit, because that lets me know that y'all got Davante Adams when he was like 14. You did not pick him up yesterday, that this was going to happen, whether it happened late in his career or right now. And unfortunately for the AFC West, it's right now. And I feel like Josh McDaniels and the new GM just established what they want to do, and that is go for Super Bowls. The clock's on Carr, by the way. He's got to have a big year this year. Otherwise, they're probably going to move on to some superstar quarterback next offseason and do another blockbuster trade. But I think it's a good signal for you guys that you got the right guys in leadership, even though I am a huge critic of Josh McDaniels. And if the Chargers hired Josh McDaniels, I'd bash him.
Yeah, you'd be all for it. And that's the funny thing that I've been seeing today about and I've been texting you about it, is the Raiders make the trade for Davante Adams, and now all of a sudden it's the horrible move. Why would they give a wide receiver that age that much money? The Raiders are dumb for doing this, blah, 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 all this stuff. But everybody knows at the end of the day, the Raiders had to make this move. The Raiders, to compete in this division with the Chargers making their moves, the Raiders as good as they were last year, or whatever you want to say about how they were last year, they were one wide receiver away from being a great team. They were okay, good, average team last year that won 10 games, and you could say they lucked into some of those or did whatever, but they won 10 games. But they did it without a number one wide receiver. And bringing Davante Adams over is amazing. Mike, I got something for you, though.
Oh, boy. Oh, is that him as a kid? Great.
That's him as a kid.
So this was an inevitable fate, and it was sealed. And unfortunately,
well, that's the same thing with Derek Carr. Derek Carr grew up a Raider fan.
Craziness, man. Craziness that you guys keep getting the homers. Who grew up a Chargers fan? Herbert grew up a Chargers fan. This is crazy, actually. This is insane.
But isn't that what you want? Like, we always talk about it, and we always bring it up. Yeah. Like, when you grow up, like, it's weird. And I always see this on TikTok. Like, there's a guy out there, and I don't know who it is. I apologize. But there's a guy out there on TikTok, and his thing is, you really picked your team at age 9, 10, or 11, and you let them do the emotional damage to you for the rest of your life. Something that you made a decision on when you were a little kid. But it's true, because you grow up as a fan, you get invested, and you and I always throw it back at each other. You don't have kids yet, but you will one day. And I have my kids, and we always talk about, like, what if one of our kids grow up and they, like, your kid becomes a Raider or mine becomes a Charger? What are we gonna do? And it's those decisions right there are tough, but you always grow up. Like, Mike, I'm sure when you were playing football overseas, or you're playing football as a kid, and all these people that are watching us right now, when they play football outside, they think that they're the quarterback or the wide receiver for their favorite team.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? So they're like, if they're Charger fans out there, they're like, they're catching balls from Justin Herbert touchdown. And then they grow up, and where do they want to go? To the Chargers. And nobody ever does that, because they go through the draft process, and the draft process puts you on your team. But imagine if there was no draft, Mike. How many of these people would actually go to their favorite teams, which are probably going to be West Coast teams?
Yeah, I mean, I just remember playing pickup football in my bright blue LaDainian Tomlinson jersey. And that happened to my dad, because my dad's a 49ers fan. So sorry, Dad, for whatever I did to your 49er fandom. But Frank Gore and Alex Smith were very boring to watch when I was a kid. But yeah, it's a dream. And I think the Raider Nation is going to back Davante Adams twice as much as they would have beforehand, knowing that he is a diehard Raider and that he's probably going to retire a Raider. He's probably going to retire a Raider. And we're going to have to deal with him for a couple of years. And as far as him being old or whatever, even if Davante Adams starts to regress later on in this contract, maybe the second half of it, still Davante Adams. We ain't talking about no slouch receiver. And this guy has it all. He's a guy that can burn over the top. He's a guy that can run underneath routes. He's a guy that really impacts the intermediate game. He can do everything. And him and Carr have the connection. I'm giving the Raiders way too much love right now.
It's a 5-year contract. But if you break it down, it's actually a 3-year, $22 million per year contract. So it's actually a pretty damn good deal if you actually look at it. And 99 Morris, I was gonna say that it's officially a three first rounds, a third, and a fifth for Deshaun Watson.
Jesus, that's
a lot. Hey, Cleveland got their guy, but can they capitalize on it? Because Cleveland being Cleveland, they still got to trade, and then they could probably make that third and fifth back with Baker Mayfield traded out of there if they need to.
Possibly.
I don't know what they can get for him, but
yeah.
If I was Cleveland, I wouldn't let Baker. I would trade Baker Mayfield to who I wanted to. I wouldn't let him pick. I wouldn't say, "Yo, you want to?" And we'll get into that in a minute. But Davante Adams, like you said, and I saw this on the news. I saw this. I don't know. I was glued on ESPN, and I don't know why. I hate watching ESPN, but I was watching it today. A lot of them were like, "Well, Aaron Rodgers made him who he is today." Come on. A good wide receiver is a good wide receiver no matter what. Keenan Allen was good before Justin Herbert showed up. It just makes them both better. It's not going to go, just because Keenan Allen's a great wide receiver, he made Justin Herbert who he is. No, they both make each other better. So Derek Carr, and somebody put it on Twitter, they go, is Derek Carr now a top 12 quarterback in the NFL? I go, when wasn't he a top 12 quarterback in the NFL? We've always said he was top 12, or at least top 12, top 13. Now you add a great wide receiver, you add him some weapons. Can he go up? And I was talking to Chargers former beat writer Fernando Ramirez this morning with it as well. I'm name dropping. You like that, Mike? You like how I'm name dropping? So I was talking to him this morning, and we were talking about this Derek Carr, Davante Adams. If Derek Carr has no excuses now, like this is your guy. So Derek Carr can either go up, or we could see. Well, really, this is when we find out how good Derek Carr really is right now.
Yeah.
This season is when we find out how good he really is.
Yeah, I agree with you. And the whole thing about him being made by Aaron Rodgers, yeah, the ridiculous statistic seasons that Davante Adams have put up have been made by the situation that he's in. Because he is a phenomenal receiver, but he's a phenomenal receiver in a spot where they don't have many weapons through the air to go to. So Rodgers is just force feeding him, and Rodgers is really good. So Rodgers can successfully force feed him. Now we'll see what Carr can do, but what the Raiders can do now, and this is why I'm upset about this move, and this is why I think the Raiders may actually be the second best team in the division behind, the Bolts, who just added 4 stars and X factors to defense. But we'll talk about that in a second. This is why I think the Raiders might be the second best team, in my opinion now, is because last year I feel like the team won a lot of games on heart. Just going out there and playing the game of football and hoping for the best. And there's a lot of heart. And at the end of games, guys like Hunter Renfrow, Darren Waller, Derek Carr would come through. This year, with Davante Adams added and Chandler Jones added to the defense side of the ball, the Raiders can actually play football. They could play pro football. They don't have to go out there and rely on heart and play against teams that have double the amount of talent that they have on the roster. That's the one thing I did respect about the Raiders team last year is every game it seems like that they won, especially the big games. It felt like the team that they were going against had the bigger names, had the bigger paid players, had more talent than the Raiders because of what happened with Ruggs, because of what happened with the coaching, Darren Waller injuries, and everything in between that happened to the Raiders this year. And now next year, they're going to be a football team, and they're going to have a coach in Josh McDaniels that's going to run out an actual scheme. It's not just going to be all heart. And that's why you got to make this kind of a move. I was expecting them to go and get Juju Smith-Schuster or Allen Robinson or somebody to fill this wide receiver 1 role, and they just trumped everything that I was thinking was going to happen.
Question for me from Phil K. Davante, I'm guessing it's Davante Adams or Amari Cooper. That's hands down. That's the easiest question I've ever answered in my life. That's Davante Adams all day.
And thanks to
Davante Adams doesn't hide in games. He doesn't fall. Every game Davante Adams is in, he's there, and you know he's there.
Yeah, but good thing the Chargers went out and they loaded up the defense. If the Chargers were fielding last year's defense this year, there would be zero chance. We would be absolutely screwed. But the Chargers got the counter in J.C. Jackson before Davante Adams got picked up. It just seems like the two teams, and even Denver a little bit, but more us versus you, are just going tit for tat, tit for tat, tit for tat. The Chargers go out and trade for Khalil Mack. The Raiders go out and get Chandler Jones. The Chargers go out and extend Mike Williams. The Raiders extend Mad Max Crosby. The Chargers go out, get J.C. Jackson, one of the best DBs in football. The Raiders go, oh, yeah, you think they were going to come out with Brian Edwards to face J.C. Jackson? No way. We're getting Davante Adams into the fold. I'm
99 Morris is trying to argue with me right now. He's trying to say that Carr is the 13th best quarterback in the league, and he put his top 12, which I can arguably take some of these guys and move them around. And
I think it's fair. I think that this list is fair.
I'm not high on Kyle Murray like some people are. Me and Lamar Jackson don't go round and round. I'm talking
about you're higher on those guys than Carr, right?
I could actually drop Kyler Murray behind Carr right now. The way that he dropped off the last 2 seasons is kind of bothersome to me. And then the rest of it I could argue with. We got to see how Watson performs this year. And is there a big difference between Dak and Carr right now? You would say yeah, because you're low-key a Dallas Cowboy lover, but probably not.
I think those two are a lot closer than Kyler and Lamar. I think Kyler and Lamar are similar level passers of the ball, but they got the running ability too. I will agree with you that maybe the X factor, or maybe just the it factor, maybe goes to Carr, because Carr has the experience and he's stepped up in big moments. But I can't go with an invisible trait to take over all other physical traits going in the other way. Dak Prescott is a similar player to Carr. I will agree with you.
So Phil K, Davante Adams, or Cooper Kupp, who would you rather have out of those two, Mike?
It depends on the offense I'm running. If I'm running the Rams offense, Cooper Kupp. If I'm running the Packers offense, then Davante Adams. In y'all's offense, you already got a Cooper Kupp-esque guy in the slot, so you want Davante Adams. You don't want
the Raiders needed a big red zone target, somebody that can catch the ball, and you're adding Davante, and that's what you're forgetting, that you're adding Davante Adams with Hunter Renfrow, with Darren Waller, with my guy Brian Edwards, who I like. It's going to make the offense a lot better.
It's going to be fireworks. It's going to be fireworks. And if it's going to be a war for the AFC West, I want the war to be between you and me, and I want the war to be in Allegiant and SoFi Stadium and us to be in the stands watching it. That's what I want it to be.
So they're saying Juju Smith has signed with the Chiefs.
No way.
I have to confirm that. I have to get that confirmed, but that's what they're saying in our chat right now.
Adam Scheffner just tweeted it. So Juju
Smith. So that's where Juju should have went to the Chiefs last year. Remember that when they were like, they offered him the most money and he still turned it down?
I don't know how much more I can take, Joe. I don't know how much more I can take. This football season coming up, it's going to be insane.
I hope Juju dances on the lightning bolt in SoFi.
This is a good transition, right? I hope he does too. So I can throw a football at him from Jay's row.
Juju and Jackson Mahomes together.
I didn't realize that. That's something that's
Juju Smith going to the Chiefs.
That's a good pairing. That's a good pickup by them. If they're going to do the strategy, I think they're going to do. Seeing what the Chiefs have done and how they have not added any defense, this is a good transition to the.
But Mike, how does this help the Chiefs? We already know the Chiefs had a good offense. The Broncos, the Raiders, the Chargers have been loading up on what? Defense.
And offense, really. But
Patrick Mahomes started this. The Chiefs and Patrick Mahomes started this, and then the AFC West said, you know what, screw it. We got to compete with the Chiefs. Now the Chiefs have stayed here, and everybody else has gone, and they're about here now. And if not getting better than the Chiefs. To me, I feel that the Chiefs need to do something on defense, and Juju Smith, great wide receiver, but he's fallen out of games in Pittsburgh. He's not the number one guy. He doesn't have to be the number one guy with Tyreek Hill, but you've been able to shut down Juju Smith. It's not like he's going to come in there and scare me. Juju Smith doesn't scare me with the Kansas City Chiefs because, okay, go ahead, put up 24 points, 30 points, but the AFC West offenses are going to be able to put up more than that now because you have no defense. You have no defense in Kansas City.
And that should empty out their cap too, because they tagged Orlando Brown, and that's a big deal for a left tackle to get tagged. That's a big money tag. But I think what the Chiefs' strategy is, they see what we're doing, and they just realize they can't pay to buy the defenders that we can pay to buy because of the cap situation there with Patrick Mahomes and Kelsey and Hill, and now Juju and Orlando Brown all getting paid on the offensive side of the ball. I think their strategy is they're going to try and just go out and they're going to try and score 50 points. I think that's what they're going to do. And that's not a good counter to well-rounded football. And I'm concerned for the Chiefs because their defense is not just bad. Last year it was bad. They've lost pieces from last year. They've gotten worse than bad. And they're going to be terrible. L'Jarius Sneed has to cover Keenan Allen, Mike Williams, and Josh Palmer, and Davante Adams, Hunter Renfrow, and with Russell Wilson in Denver. I don't know if the receivers are quite the quality of Vegas and Los Angeles, but they're no slouches. Cortland Sutton will go over L'Jarius Sneed. Like, what are the Chiefs going to do defensively to slow a team down? They have nothing. Go ahead and try and blitz these quarterbacks. Go ahead and try and blitz Russ, Derek Carr, and Justin Herbert when their receiving cores are absolutely loaded up. It's going to be a touchdown is what's going to happen.
So Juju is getting 1 year, $10 million, almost $11 million from the Chiefs.
Why is Juju taking all these one-year deals, man? He realized that his prime is going to run out and he's not going to get a big deal ever, right? I guess that TikTok money can let you take some pay cuts in the NFL.
Well, the 1-year deals and the short little deals have worked out for Kirk Cousins. That guy is one of the I envy Kirk Cousins and the way he does his deals. Like,
yeah,
that dude is guaranteed money, and he was the first one that I've seen do it a couple years ago, where he got his whole contract guaranteed. Now we see Deshaun Watson do it today. But Juju Smith, Chandler Jones, I'm following Russell Wilson to the AFC West. He thought he could get away with from me. I don't know if you guys know this. Chandler Jones has sacked Russell Wilson the most. He sacked Russell Wilson more than any other defender that sacked a quarterback except for Cam Jordan and Matt Ryan. Cam Jordan has sacked Matt Ryan more than Chandler Jones has sacked Russell Wilson.
Yeah, it's pretty wild. That Chandler Jones pickup just got forgotten about because of Davante Adams' move.
Yeah, and this is why I love the Broncos, because their defense is so elite. Okay, but here's the thing, Mike. We're talking about the AFC West. Here's the thing about the Broncos. Their defense was elite the last couple of years, and they were missing a quarterback. Then they get rid of who? Vic Fangio, the guy who made their defense elite, right? The guy who ran their defense. And so I'm wondering how good that defense actually is going to be this year without Vic Fangio, without the game. Because Vic Fangio, say what you want about him, kept those guys in the game with that defensive play. He shut down some teams. I don't know if the new defense coordinator in Denver will be able to do that.
And yeah, I'm not the biggest fan of Randy Gregory. I'm not sure how much he's going to contribute. He's definitely not going to contribute on the level of a guy like a Von Miller. Bradley Chubb hasn't been able to stay healthy. That's an actual injury-prone player, by the way, guys. Go look at how Chubb's dealt with injuries compared to Mack and Chandler Jones and the other guys who just got hurt once. But yeah, so I'm not sure I'm as confident in their pass rush as the Vegas and the Bolts pass rush, but the secondary in Denver is really deep. They can cover, man. So it might balance out to where they also have a really good defense. And when you're looking at it, KC's defense is by far like a cliff.
The worst.
Far the worst. Not even close. Now, KC's offense, with Juju especially, is probably the best, but that gap is not as wide as the defensive gap at all. I think that the Chiefs offense and the Raiders offense have a similar kind of firepower now. Just a little bit better.
Why is the West and all elite in any sports, baseball? It's because the weather out here. Nobody wants to play in the cold weather. Nobody wants to play in the East Coast. They all want to come out here to California or now Vegas or wherever. They want to play on this West Coast where, they can be warm. They're not playing in snow. They're not having to deal with all that. I think that's why. I would think about that. Davante Adams, big deal going to Vegas, not playing indoors. Doesn't have to play in snow all the time. Like he's not playing in cold weather. You're coming. Same thing with J.C. Jackson. He's getting out of New England, coming to sunny California. And then you got to remember where a lot of these athletes, like football players, most football players and baseball players, if you look at it, there's 3 states that almost everybody comes out of. And you could look it up and you could tell me I'm wrong, but I'm pretty positive that most big name athletes are both in the NFL, MLB, and all that come from either California, Texas, or Florida. Those are your 3 big states that they come out of right now. I want Gilmore to the Raiders.
It's a mixture. It's the weather. It's the stadiums. I think the stadiums being built helps out the Rams, Raiders, and Chargers tremendously, convincing people. And it's these kids are from these places. Their hometowns are L.A. J.C. Jackson's from L.A., I think.
Do I think the Raiders have a shot? I think they did have a shot at Gilmore. I don't know how much they're chasing Gilmore anymore after they've already picked up a couple, Anthony Averett and Rock Sin, the 2 cornerbacks. Gilmore, I know they've been going, but I'm wondering if Gilmore's. Let's just say this: Gilmore's price has probably come down since the start of free agency, and the Raiders and people wanting to go to the Raiders have gone up. So the Raiders are now sitting here, and he probably had an advantage because the Raiders needed somebody, but now they're a better team. So now you're like. Just like the Chargers. Now people are going to take that pay cut to go to the Chargers. People are going to take that pay cut to go to the Raiders, just like they do to go to Tampa Bay. they're going to take these pay cuts because they see how good these teams are and they want to play with certain players. So Gilmore is going to have to either go break the bank somewhere else. And I read something about Gilmore today because I was asking you this, Mike, if Gilmore still has anything left. And they said there's a scout out there, or a couple scouts out there that said Gilmore can still shut down. Even at his age of 31, he's still a good shutdown, and they would trust him on a number one wide receiver.
Well, he was good enough in like 8 games to still make the Pro Bowl as an alternate. So it's not like he's this washed corner. Even Gilmore at 75% of what he used to be is still a really good corner. Now, I'm not going to be the guy to come on here and tell you that I think that Stephon Gilmore on the Chargers will lock down Davante Adams at this point, but he definitely adds depth to any team that goes to. And I'm very interested to see where he goes to because I think the Raiders and the Chargers both have shown a lot of interest in him, and they both are 2 teams that are loading up right now. So they both probably want him. And a similar situation with Bobby Wagner. I think that he may be a guy that's coming to play in one of the new stadiums as well.
And then 999 Morris is saying that he saw yesterday that the Raiders offered a contract to Stephon Gilmore. I saw that same report yesterday, but then it came out this morning that they never really did. So it's kind of back and back questions. And then our friend Justin is saying that we said it all about why people want to come out to the West Coast because, you know, the destination, the weather, the nightlife, everything. And now the brand new stadiums. And then, you know, most players are from here, so they already know the Niners. And you want to DJ Coop is trying to talk about the Niners. Yeah, the Niners secondary needs to be helped. Hey, speaking about the Niners, guess who they got to play this year? They got to play this division. That division. So imagine, okay, we've been talking about the AFC West, right? About how the AFC West, like we got to play each other. The Broncos have to play us. We got to play all these tough games. We got 8 tough games or 6 tough games, and then what about the teams that are playing the AFC West? Do you don't think the Titans and the Colts and the Jaguars and the Texans are like, damn it? And now the Seattle Seahawks, all these people are like, we got to go play these tough ass teams now.
Yeah, it's got to be scary. They're just watching this. And Tom Telesco was on the Pat McAfee show this morning, and he said that it's fun to do this back and forth thing, but he'd rather the opponent's not. So you know how the teams feel. They don't necessarily want to play a super team, and there's multiple super teams in the AFC West now. I mean, you guys saw the thumbnail. There's like 10 players on the thumbnail, and all of those guys are Pro Bowl or higher level players. All 10 of them.
Well, and then we had a graphic. I should have put it on here. The graphic of what they say. This is the most Pro Bowl quarterbacks in one division
ever.
Yeah.
I think that this is set to be the best division and the best season of division football ever. I think so. I think that all these teams are going to win, 9 games, 8 games plus, and the only team that's going to win like 8 or 7 is going to be the team that just deals with injuries the worst. It gets the worst end of the stick on injuries.
Yeah, and it's and people are going to say Derek Carr is the 4th best. I'll take 4th best quarterback if we win more games. And you've been on it, Mike. You were on it last season that you said, will we ever see 4 teams in one division make the playoffs?
This will be the one. This would be the one. What do you think about the Broncos, though? I mean, I know you're a little bit lower on them than most people. I'm starting to come with you. They definitely do not have the firepower offensively that some of these teams have. Javonte Williams is on that side of the ball, and that will give them an advantage because that guy's going to be an absolute monster. But is Russell Wilson going to run a run-first offense? I don't think so. So I think that Denver and KC, they should be a little bit worried because Vegas and the Los Angeles Chargers are absolutely loading these teams up, loading them up.
NFL Mike keeps ignoring my TikToks all week. Look, guys, Mike, and this is why I loved it yesterday. I was live on the air yesterday with Tony Tucker, and I loved the Davante Adams deal just because of this, because I knew Mike was going to get hammered, because he did his little L dance. He did all this little stuff saying, Davante Adams, there's no damn way Davante Adams was going to Las Vegas, and then it happened, and that's the whole thing that went through my head is like, Mike's going to eat crow all week long. So I'm sorry if Mike hasn't been able to get back to your TikToks because he's busy, and you should see his notifications. This dude is getting eaten alive. And I was going through my little thread, and I was looking, and so many people have stitched you, Mike, and they're just laughing at you of how bad it was. But it comes and goes. You know what I mean? I'm just glad you're finally taking it, because normally I'm the one that has to be the one that looks stupid, but now it's finally you. Finally, it's all back on you.
Yeah, I mean, I've taken my L's, I've taken my lumps, I've taken my hits in the face in my showers and Chargers jerseys, but this one definitely was the worst one, because there is a video on the internet of me going like this with the Davante Adams notification on it, and it's not a good look. But I'll take my L. I take my L's with grace. I said it in a TikTok that I posted right before we went live. I said, I will take the heat before I delete, meaning I won't delete the post. It's still up. It's got like 600,000 views, and they're not good ones. I'll tell you that. It's the one time I've made a video that has not been a good kind of viral.
Yeah, why would you delete it? I would keep that. Everybody's asking in the chat, especially Raider fans, about James Bradberry. He's not a free agent, but he would be a great fit in the deep. The Raiders would have to trade with the Giants. I don't know what they would want for it. I mean, we do have the Giants' old defensive coordinator now. He would be awesome. He would be a great trade, but I don't know if the Giants are actually going to pull that trigger and make that trade.
So who's your Super Bowl pick?
Who's mine?
Yeah. Well, here's mine.
Right. This is the time of year that you should be like, if you're not sitting here in March, even April, May, June, July, if you're not sitting here saying that your team is winning the Super Bowl, your team is doing something wrong. And that's what I don't get. And that's what all these stupid writers. Sorry, Fernando. I know Fernando yelled at me today for attacking NFL writers and stuff. I'm sorry, but some of these writers and people on TV, this is what you don't get out of the Davante Adams trade. Hope. The Raider Nation was given hope. The Khalil Mack trade gave the Chargers what? Hope. They gave them the feeling that they could go. I saw a great tweet yesterday, and it was a Raider fan that said, what did the Raiders give up in the Davante Adams trade? He said losing. They gave up losing because it was a commitment to try to win. Even if these trades don't work out, even if Khalil Mack doesn't play a game, he goes and gets hurt, or he sucks and he doesn't play his best, if Davante Adams doesn't live up to the expectations, what they gave the fans and what they showed that they're doing is coming in here and making sure that we know that they want to win. And that's what, like, John Gruden did the opposite way, and I told you this earlier. John Gruden came in and he traded Khalil Mack. He traded Amari Cooper, and Raider fans were like, okay, we trust you, John Gruden. We hope you know what you're doing. Josh McDaniels came in here and said, hey, we're a good team. Let's bring this motherfucker. Let's bring this guy. Let's bring all these guys in and make us feel better about what we did last year with the 10-win season. Guy Williams says, Raiders Super Bowl bound, son. That's right. Raider, I don't know about that, but I think if the Raiders make the playoffs and win a playoff game, it's a step in the right direction, and we're moving forward. And that's all I can ask, is because, Mike, it's been since 2002 since the Raiders have won this division, and I'm ready to win the division now.
Okay, well, let's ease up here. All right, we still have a season to play. As you said, I didn't know that the season ended. We were going to crown a champion right now. All right, I'll flip it on you now that we're in this predicament. But yeah, I think the chances went up of the Raiders competing. A couple weeks ago, I was enjoying myself very much. Not even a couple weeks ago, like a couple days ago.
No, like 3 days ago.
Yeah, a couple days ago, I was enjoying myself very much. It was all talks about the Chargers being a super team, and it was talks about the Raiders considering going into rebuild mode, trading Derek Carr, going with Marcus Mariota, and just kind of succeeding this season and getting ready to rebuild in the next offseason. And just at the drop of 2 notifications, everything changed. Everything changed. And the whole world's different now.
And it's not over. And I joke about, like, I'll say the Raiders should be in consideration as one of the top teams in the AFC right now, but they still have a lot of work to do. They need to get a right tackle. They need to probably pick up another linebacker. There's still some work they need to do out there to solidify them as a team. But these are great starting points, and you have to feel good as a Raider fan. And I'm not going to take that away from me. And yeah, I'm going to hit you with it, Mike. I'm going to tell you the season ain't started, but just to let you know, Raiders sitting on top right now.
Well, here's my question: who's y'all CB1 right now? I know Casey went to the Falcons. Congrats, Casey, on another contract. Trayvon Mullen. You hear that, guys? Everyone hear that?
What you scared about him for?
Trayvon Mullen would be the Chargers cornerback 5.
Yeah, and it doesn't matter who the Chargers quarterback is because Davante Adams is leaving them in the dirt. You brought J.C. Jackson out of New England just to get his butt kicked by Davante Adams twice a year.
I mean, that's 2 games a year, but J.C. Jackson's going to hold his own against Davante Adams. And yeah, I'll admit, Tay might get him a few times here and there, but the majority of the time, J.C. Jackson's going to win the battle, and it's going to give enough time for our quarterback, who's in his 2nd year, by the way, everyone, in case anyone's forgotten. I know it's been a lot of moves that have been distracting. Khalil Mack, J.C. Jackson, Sebastian Joseph Day, Austin Johnson, all these guys coming in to the Chargers, and they also re-signed the kicker. That was the only good kicker we've had in 10 years, and Mike Williams. But guess who is at quarterback still? Justin Herbert, who is the 2nd and probably by next year going to be the 1st best quarterback in the division, full of just elite quarterbacks. Well, elite quarterbacks and one non-elite quarterback. And he wears, black and silver. And the quarterbacks, when everything is on the table and the teams are even talent-wise, the quarterback's going to elevate the team to the next level. And that's exactly what Herbert's going to do. And we're going to drop 40 on Trayvon Mullen's head. And y'all may score 24. Y'all may score 31. Maybe I won't call a 45-20 blowout victory for the Chargers this year. But I will call a victory. And I do have confidence still.
I hope you do call it because last time you called a blowout, what happened? Timeout. And the Raiders went to the playoffs.
What was it? Which one did I call a blowout? I think I said like 45-7 against the Chiefs or something, and then it actually kind of happened, and I was even surprised. That ain't going to happen this year. I hope that KC starts slow and all 3 of the other teams beat them in the first matchup. That would be hilarious.
Yeah. If JC guards Davante, we got Renfro. Then you guard Renfro and you guard Davante. Then we got Darren Waller. Pick and choose, Mike. You're not going to be able to stop all the weapons here.
I mean, think about it. We have JC, who's an elite cornerback in the NFL, top 5, top 3, in my opinion, cornerback in the NFL. And then we have the best safety all around: man coverage, zone coverage, blitzing, pass rushing. He could be a nose tackle if he wants. He's the best safety in the league.
So we were down to what?
I don't think it ends at JC, and then it's like, oh, the rest of the Chargers secondary has a bunch of Trayvon Mullins out there. No. We got all pro talent at every position.
So they're saying don't worry. Colts fans are stupid if they think Baker Mayfield's their answer. That's funny to me.
Get ready for B-Wags to come on in. Yeah, the Colts fans are just trying to grab onto any glimpse of hope. I think their best bet is to go for Jameis Winston, but he's probably going back to New Orleans now.
Hey, Mike, and here's another thing, and you could use this as your argument for the Chargers too. It doesn't matter. How if your cornerbacks are elite or just good enough. Your cornerbacks will be better. Trayvon Mullen will be better because of the pass rush that Max Crosby and Chandler Jones puts together. Same thing with the Chargers. They're expecting that your cornerbacks will be better because of what Joey Bosa and Khalil Mack will do. That's what we're hoping for. We're hoping that the quarterback has no time to do it. The Raiders aren't done, but don't sleep on Trayvon Mullen. I know you wanted to, but don't sleep on him. Don't sleep on my guy. Don't sleep on Nate Hobbs. Don't sleep on Nate Hobbs like you tried to do last year.
If I'm
These guys are going to come in here and they're going to do their thing. And you don't think that Josh McDaniels knows something about J.C. Jackson? What's his name? J.C. Jackson? I'm already forgetting his name because I don't care about him anymore. You don't think Josh McDaniels knows just a little bit about him?
Oh, he's very familiar with J.C. Jackson. He's very familiar that J.C. Jackson's going to have 10 interceptions next year because of the pass rush that you're talking about. Now, maybe they might not get them all against the Raiders because when you have to go up against the number 1 receiver, you have to lock in and just cover that number 1 receiver. You can't be ball hawking, and J.C. knows that. But in all the other games, with the Chargers pass rush coming after quarterbacks, we're going to see some pain brought down thanks to J.C. Jackson. And McDaniels is going to get a reminder why that New England defense has taken the ball away more than any defense the last couple of years. It's not because of Jonathan Jones or Matthew Judon. It's because of number 27, J.C. Jackson. Also, I saw that comment that Michael Davis will be a CB1 on the Raiders. Our fourth corner would be Tavon Campbell, or Trey Marshall would be a CB1 on the Raiders.
Go back and watch J.C. Jackson's. J.C. Jackson has 1 year as a starter in the NFL, a complete starter in the NFL, a whole season. Last year was the first time he started every single game for New England. 1 season as a full starter at New England. If you don't believe me, go look up his stats, Mike. I'll let you know.
He has
and then go back and watch all 10 of those or 11 of those interceptions. How many of those were tipped up? How many of those were hand given to J.C. Jackson? I'm just telling you, interception. You want to say interceptions is your main stat that you want to go off of? That's what you're sounding like, a Dallas Cowboy fan, and how they like Diggs over there and how he's the best cornerback in the league. Come on, dude.
I used to think about the stuff that you're thinking about until I saw the man coverage grades that J.C. Jackson has, amongst the best in the league, amongst J.R. Alexander and Jalen Ramsey. And you already see what he is as a zone corner. Those tips and overthrows, those ain't easy. It ain't easy to get interceptions. That's how I know that you didn't play defensive back, Joe. Interceptions are supposed to be rare. 4 interceptions in a season is elite for a corner, let alone 25 in 3 seasons. And you just told me that he didn't even start all 3 of those seasons. So that just makes it even more impressive that he's able to pull out 25 interceptions. JC is going to have 8 to 12 interceptions next year. That's takeaways given to number 10, who happens to be pretty good at offense.
Let me just tell you this.
Don't doubt JC. If you want me,
one of them gets beat.
If you want me to respect the Davante Adams pickup, don't come on here and try and degrade the J.C. Jackson pickup when you know damn well that if he went to the Raiders, the tune would be the opposite. You know it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
If you went to the Raiders, it'd be a lot different. But now you picked up a guy who's not good.
If Davante Adams came to us, I'd be stoked, and I'm happy for you. I'm very happy that
Rocky Sin is better than J.C. Jackson.
See, Adam is out of his mind. Adam. So someone damaged Adam.
No, that's the way you should be. You should be backing your own players.
The Raiders are probably going to get a cornerback. I highly doubt that they just are going to walk into the season and try and cover Juju, Tyreek Hill, and Travis Kelce with Trayvon fucking Mullen.
Well, I don't think the Raiders are completely done. I think there's a lot more they got to do.
I don't think the Chargers are either. The Chargers cleared $13 million in cap this morning or yesterday.
Let me ask you, where do you think Tyrann Mathieu going?
He's probably.
I would love to have him on the Raiders, but I truly believe he's going to end up on Pittsburgh.
Oh, that could happen. But I think that both teams aren't done. The Chargers have $30 million in cap, which is top 5 in cap space to spend still. It's mind-boggling, the contract negotiating that Tom Telesco's done this offseason and last offseason when we picked up the guys we picked up for the offensive line, because it's given him so much freedom to just go and grab people. I wouldn't be surprised if Bobby Wagner and Stephon Gilmore were picked up by the Chargers. We have $30 million. Khalil Mack got traded to us and the next day said, hey, I'll restructure the contract and give you guys an extra $13 million to spend and bring in
Bobby Wagner makes sense for the Raiders. Bobby Wagner doesn't make sense for the Chargers. Why not just bring back Kazir White?
Because Bobby Wagner is Bobby Wagner. What are you talking about? You guys can have Kazir White. You guys like picking up our scraps. You can add him to the Damian Square, Casey Hayward, and Denzel Perryman editions.
Don't you be knocking Casey Hayward when you said he was finished and Casey Hayward played in the playoff game before Justin Herbert?
Well, he was finished with us is what I meant when I said that.
Khalil Mack is overrated. Yeah, he is now. Now that he went to the Chargers, definitely overrated.
That's one of your guys' all-time legendary players, and he's overrated.
Look, the Raiders GM is in the chat with us. Dave Ziegler here. He said the Chargers are going to choke just like usually, and they can get their Avengers for all they care, and it's not going to help them, Mike. That's the Raiders GM live in our YouTube chat on the Warzone Sports Network on YouTube. The Raiders general manager in here commenting with us.
I want you to keep that in mind, Dave, when you're in your suite watching that 31-10 score be put up on the board.
Wagner will go to San Francisco. Mark my words.
I think Wagner said that he wants to go to a contender, which will be San Francisco still. But he also said that he wants to get close to his hometown in LA. So Vegas makes sense still. And both the LA teams. And one of the LA teams is broke. The other one has some money to spend. And I think I know which one it is. They wear blue, powder blue, to be more specific. Come on over, Bobby. And we also need a right tackle. So
Look,
that might also be why we're clearing cap.
This is what you got.
Chargers need a tackle.
This is what you got to remember, Mike. The Raiders are gearing up this year, and if they can go to the AFC Championship or win some playoff games, they make the playoffs and do it. Good for them. But you know what next year is, right? You know where the Super Bowl is next year. Okay, it's in Arizona, but guess where it's in after that?
Can't wait to go to Vegas and see the
Las Vegas.
Second straight Super Bowl. Who do you think is going to make it out of the NFC? I asked Tony this.
The NFC, it's between the Bucks and the Rams. That's
it, right? Yeah.
The Bucks and the Rams.
That's so sad, man. Can we just move the Raiders and the Chargers together to the NFC? Like, just move, just switch us with the Seahawks and the Cardinals.
Somebody, I'm thinking maybe a 7-win team can make the NFC playoffs.
And
that's how sad it's going to be.
A 10-win team is going to miss it in the AFC.
Look how bad that Eagles team was, and they made the playoffs last year.
Mm-hmm. I agree.
You know what I mean? Las Vegas doesn't make sense for Wagner. He wants to win.
I agree.
I think that you're forgetting where the Raiders ended up last year in the division. Remember my prediction of 5 wins came back and bit him in the butt. Like there, Juju Smith to the Chiefs. Wow, they should have fixed that defense first. Yes, that's what we were talking about.
I'm taking a bigger L on the Davante Adams thing than I did in that 5-win thing.
There you go. Winston more than likely going back to the Saints after the Deshaun Watson news.
Not surprised.
Raiders are allergic to anything with winning in it, unless it's an overtime game against the Chargers in Week 18. Just saying, Niners just restructured Kittle and Armstead for one enough. Yeah, they got to do something.
We have a lot of comments. The Niners
better Lions
corners.
The Bucks, Rams, and Lions in the NFC.
Bucks, Rams, and Lions. A team like the Lions may sneak in now with how bad it's going to be. What? You need to go look again, 99 Morris. We got 30 mil.
Yeah, see, SB Talks is with us. He's saying Bucks or Rams will win it by default. Yep. It depends on where you're looking at the cap space, guys. I like to use over the cap, but sometimes they don't put like some of the stuff, the newer stuff in. But yeah, if you look at over the cap, they have the Chargers as the 4th with 30 million. Raiders still have 26, but the Raiders actually still have a little bit more because of the June 1st cuts. And they haven't put the Davante Adams deal in there and all that stuff yet, but it's coming.
The Colts, Seahawks, and Panthers have hardly done anything, and they are up there top 3, and then the Chargers are at 4 with 30. Craziness.
Yeah, it's this is crazy.
The chat's going on.
But our favorite quarterback, Davis Mills, is being built around in Houston, and we get to see him this year.
I got to see him pretty up close and personal last year, and he surprised me.
Bolt up. You got Raiders for life. That's right.
That's Raiders.
Do it this year. You got Raiders for life. I like him.
I went live right after the trade happened, and it was just a bunch of I let people that were viewers come in, and it was just a bunch of little kids just chanting Raiders at me for 10 minutes straight. That was great. Man,
people, our chat is funny. Over the Cap isn't updated. Sports Track is.
I just showed you Sports Track 99 Morris. That's the one I showed you.
Did you?
Oh man, I did.
I don't know. Nobody really knows. And the salary cap is a myth anyway, so it doesn't matter. We've already talked about that. The salary cap's a myth. Look, it's showing that the Chiefs only have $1 million to spend, and they just signed Juju Smith to $10 million. So it doesn't matter. LA bringing in a right tackle with the new cap space and Honey Badger. Where would Honey Badger play?
I don't know. You're saying Pittsburgh. I think a safety like that could fit anywhere that doesn't already have a star safety.
Yeah, but he wouldn't fit in LA. He's saying that bring him to the Chargers.
Oh, Tyrann Mathieu? I mean, we have Nas Adderley, but I'd like to have both. I wouldn't mind it.
Bolts have a number one player at every position in the division except tight end.
And we got the money
Super
to pay
Bowl
a tight
bound.
end. I wouldn't be surprised if they brought Jared Cook back, to be honest. On a
Shut up. So you're saying that Keenan Allen or Mike Williams is better than Davante Adams?
Bolts have number one player. I don't know if that means like the number.
We're saying they have the number one player at every position. So if we say quarterback, they have the number one position. We say running back. So they're saying their running back, Austin Eckler, is the best running back in our division.
I think he's talking about the receiving core being number one.
That's not what it says. It doesn't say every position group. It says every position.
Anyways, the except tight end part is the part that I'm interested in. Let's go get a tight end. I wish we would have got Mike Gesicki now. That would have been fun.
Well, I don't understand why you guys didn't make a bigger shot at Austin Hooper or something like that, but
I'm not a big fan of Austin Hooper, to be honest. I'd rather bring back Jared Cook for a year. He can block and run routes. His hands aren't quite there for this missile that keeps coming at him.
Look, I read it correctly. See, yep, I read it correctly.
Well, that's just the nuts and bolts being very, very confident, and that's what we do on the Nuts and Bolts show.
So you're gonna say that your dumb kicker Dustin Hopkins is better than Daniel Carlson? Get that crap out of here.
Why do you keep bringing up Daniel Carlson? That's like you're like trump card for everything.
Our Pro Bowl punter, AJ Cole, huh?
Oh, we getting a punter. Don't you worry about that. We fixing the punter problem. Let's talk about who has a first and second round pick and who doesn't. Because the Chargers aren't done. They're going to add more players, and we have the 17th overall pick.
Picks are overrated. Ask the Rams how their first picks win.
Guess what's going to happen? We're going to go out and we're going to draft Treylon Burks. And y'all are going to be really screwed with a super offense.
Oh, 99 Morris just broke the news. Your favorite guy is going to Pittsburgh.
I hate him.
I think Gunner is Tony's favorite guy, huh?
He likes his name. Tony's all about the name. He wants the cool names. Oh man, who's gonna win the North now? I think that the Ravens are gonna win it, but I know you're not a fan of the Ravens.
No, I think Pittsburgh has had a great offseason.
You think they're gonna do it with Mitch?
Don't underestimate Mitch Trubisky. Don't underestimate Mitch.
That might be your team.
You know what the funny thing about the Browns and the Houston trade is?
What's up?
Houston traded with the Browns to trade up in that 2017 draft to draft Deshaun Watson.
So the Browns could have just drafted him a long time ago.
Yes.
Instead, they wanted to go Baker first overall. Classic Browns right there.
Niners will get Honey Badger. This guy is saying the Niners are getting to everybody. First round picks overrated. Herbert, Slater, both all pros last year. Okay, good for you.
Our last two first round picks.
How many? Okay,
two of our best players.
The Rams haven't had a first round draft pick in 7 years. They won the Super Bowl. Who won that? The Chargers. Are the Chargers happy with all pros? Or are they happy with?
You got to think about it. You got to think about it. The reason the Rams were able to not have any picks and still win the Super Bowl is because they went out and bought a bunch of people. We bought a bunch of people and we have first round picks. It's like double trouble. Double trouble.
I'm so happy that Deshaun isn't going to the South because he's a Panther fan. Panthers gave DJ Moore a big deal right now, 3 year deal.
I think the NFL's rigged. All these players are going to the AFC, so Tom Brady can retire on a Super Bowl. That's why they're all leaving the NFC. So they're basically just like paving the path for him. It's rigged.
Somebody's actually going to believe that, Mike. If you keep saying it, somebody's going to believe it. And they're going to go out there and say, Mike said that the NFL's rigged. And it's going to be. Don't be throwing that out there.
Sean Watson chose the Browns for football reasons.
Oh, Braden Cooks, that's a guy. Oh,
their roster is not stacked. It said that he chose the Browns because the roster's stacked.
What I tell you that somebody said earlier, Mike, about that Deshaun Watson. Somebody actually showed Deshaun Watson the Falcons roster, and he was like, "Oh hell no, I'll go to the Browns."
I thought New Orleans would be a good fit, but there was a lot of ifs there. And in Cleveland, there's not any ifs. You have Nick Chubb. You have Amari Cooper. You have the elite O-line. So you have it there. But in New Orleans and Atlanta, you got if Calvin Ridley can get back on the field, if Michael Thomas can get back on the field, if Alvin Kamara is not going to have problems. So maybe that's what he decided. He was like, there's too many things up in the air in both those other spots. I'm going to go to Cleveland. I'm going to deal with that. But Joe Burrow and Mr. Jackson versus Deshaun Watson twice a year. We got some
My boy
magical
Capio
quarterbacks in the
spitting
north.
some facts right there, Mike.
What do you say?
Remember when everybody said the Raiders were going to finish last year? They're going to say the same thing this year.
I will say the same thing probably.
There's no way Charger fan is saying the NFL's rigged.
Rigged against us. It's rigged against us.
Low key, they're going to have a lot of bandwagon fans. The Chargers, they already do. You've already seen a lot of people trying to jump on the Chargers.
I actually encourage bandwagons to come on over.
I've actually heard there's a lot of Charger fans on Twitter. They don't show up to the games, but they show up to Twitter.
They just go out.
He's asking, where do you think Braden Cook's is going to go?
I have no idea. I don't know. Every team seems like they're just loading up, so it could be anyone in the league. Maybe Green Bay gives them a really strong offer for Cooks. That would be a good move by them.
Yeah, Green Bay needs to do something. And all that talk about Julio Jones going to replace Davante Adams, yeah, that's good for 1-2 games.
It's not the same at all. But what if they do get Julio and they bring in like a Brandon Cooks? Now the receiving core is looking okay. Like they can make it work. They could still make the playoffs and contend. Someone's got to pick up 50% of the offense. I don't know who it's going to be.
Okay, so let's talk about our division, the AFC West, Mike.
Let's do it.
Let's start with Denver. Denver brought in Russell Wilson.
Mm-hmm.
They brought in Randy Gregory.
Yes.
Is that enough to start competing? Like they were the last place team. Is that enough to compete?
Before the Chargers and the Raiders did what they did, yes. I think that the Broncos were going to compete. I think the Broncos were going to be right in the thick of things. But now the star power just isn't quite there. They need Jerry Jeudy, JJ, same initials, but they need Jerry Jeudy to step up and be what he can be. And they need Cortland Sutton to step up and be what he can be with Russell Wilson for them to have even a chance. I know those guys are plagued by having bad quarterbacks over the last couple of years, but I also noticed that they just weren't getting open sometimes. So that is a little concerning.
Yeah,
and they lost Fant. So they don't got that threat inside anymore either. Even though I like Ogbagma or whatever his name is.
And I like Javonte Williams, and I do like him, but the offensive line still scares me a little bit. Russell Wilson is up in age, and I know a lot of people are like, well, look at all these quarterbacks that have done stuff after the age of 32. Yeah, but how many of them relied on their legs like Russell Wilson has?
What did the Patriots just do? For some reason, I just got a message from Renee saying, what are the Patriots doing? Something break? Nothing. The Patriots are doing nothing. The Patriots are now like the 8th best team or 10th best team in the AFC. After just
rumor is Juju signing with the Chiefs to team up with Jackson Mahomes on TikTok. No lie. TikTok, don't stop.
I'm asking what they do.
Is Jackson Mahomes allowed at games? I don't know.
Is Jackson Mahomes?
The Raider deal official. Adam Scheffler just put out the Raiders Green Bay deal is now official. It's official, signed. Everything's done. It's the first pick, the number 22 overall, and the second round pick, number 53 overall, which, like I told you, in value equals the number 13 pick in the NFL draft this year.
So we're gonna see the jersey hold up picture here pretty soon.
And then Deshaun Watson and a 5th round pick to Deshaun Watson and a 5th round pick to the Browns for 3 first-round picks, a 3rd round pick, and a 4th round pick. That's the deal on that one.
And they're the next 3, right? So 2022 through 2025. The Browns don't have a 1st round pick. Oh, Renee's upset about Gunner leaving. Oh, man. The Patriots have done nothing.
Yeah, so I'm going to guess it's the number 13 overall this year, plus next year and the year after that for Deshaun Watson.
Well, he's saying that Gunner's going to blow. Gunner ain't going to play no receiver in Pittsburgh. He's going to be playing return man. They got receivers there in Pittsburgh. They got Deontay, Chase Claypool, and James Washington is one of the more underrated receivers in football. Don't be looking off to the side. I keep thinking you're going to get some more news or something. I can't handle anymore.
Well, I'm looking this way because I have TikTok over here and I have you here. So I have YouTube here, TikTok here, and TikTok, we're trying not to keep up with the comments in TikTok, but it's kind of hard to see the comments go and not keep up with people. Some they're talking about the AFC West is trying to stop Kansas City. I think they've caught up with Kansas City. I'm not gonna lie. I'm not gonna sit here as a Raider fan. You know what? When the Raiders have a bad team, Mike, I've usually come out and told you that the Raiders have a bad team. I've been pretty dead on the Raiders the last 2 years. I told you 8 wins 2 years ago, 8 wins. I told you 10 wins this year. How many wins? 10 wins. So I'm pretty knowledgeable about my own team, and I try to be more realistic about my team. So I think the AFC West has caught up to Kansas City. Kansas City started off slow last year, and we thought maybe this was the downfall, and then we saw it. Like when the Bengals beat Kansas City in the playoffs, that's when it kind of you kind of got to it. Like people are knowing, don't blitz Patrick Mahomes. Sit back there, let him do it, let him make his mistakes, and that's unless Patrick Mahomes can change it, it's not going to help. Chargers need a right tackle. Raiders need a right tackle. So that's and Leal Collins is on the market, right?
Yeah, he's probably going to be a guy that's getting phone calls from both of our teams. Yeah, I agree. I think the Chiefs getting Juju, it makes the offense even more superhuman, but the offense is already superhuman. Think about it. The Chargers beat them once, and they almost came back in that game. And the second time, the Chargers were down 10-0, and they went on a 21-point run and controlled the rest of the game until the final overtime play by Travis Kelce against our scrub practice squad level defense. Like, they took them to the limit with a superhuman offense. So the superhuman offense part of it necessarily isn't going to scare me too much because we've been dealing with that for a couple of years now. It's the defense for the KC that they need to be concerned about. We'll see what they do. Like you said, the salary cap doesn't really matter, but they should be done if Juju just got signed and only got $1 million to spend.
Yeah, I don't know how much more money they have to do. They did bring in Justin Reed to take over for
it's a lateral move. What do you think? Maybe a downgrade a little. I like Justin Reed, but I never have thought that he's like an elite safety in the league.
Yeah, so it's not a big deal, but you got
it's their pass rush.
With the Charger fans, all the Charger fans in our chat right now, would you accept this trade? TikTok star Juju and TikTok star Jackson Mahomes to the Chargers for TikTok star NFL Mike.
Hell nah. Denied. Or actually, I'll go to them and I'll infiltrate them from the inside. I got you, Bolt fam. I'll come in all red and I'll walk in there and I'll stomp on Mahomes' big toe. He won't be able to play.
Dancing on the field is not a good thing to do before a game against the Chiefs.
Yeah, well, Jackson and Juju better have this collab already lined up. We better see.
We need to get Brandon Cooks, and then get Julio, and then in the draft get either James.
That's a lot.
Yeah, it would be a good deal, but you'd have to trade for Cooks. You'd have to trade for Cooks first.
Trade for Cooks, sign Julio, and get another guy, and draft the right guy. I mean, that's a lot.
Fletcher Cox would be nice, but Fletcher Cox is going back to the Eagles.
Has that been official yet?
It's not official yet, but everything I've read is that they're
working on. Well, everything that I read was that Cleveland's out on that, and Davante Adams was staying in Green Bay, and Russell Wilson was staying in Seattle. Like the reporting, Ian Rappaport, Adam Schefter, shame on y'all, because y'all are doing us a disservice right now. Everything you're saying is set to happen is going the opposite direction. In a bad way, not a good way. In a bad way for me, in a good way for the rest of the AFC West teams, because every time they report like, hey, this guy's staying put, boom, Raiders, boom, Broncos, Juju, Chiefs.
Well, they're not telling you to go out there and make a TikTok about it and do some little stupid dance before the actual official. They're just saying this is what they're hearing.
That's fair. All right, Joe. I need to eat some food. I'm dying.
Yeah, so I appreciate this. This has been a fun. I'm going to end the TikTok right now.
All right.
I'll end that one.
Thanks for tuning in.
Here on YouTube, Juju 10 million. Yeah, we said that already. But what's up, Jason? Haven't seen you in a while. How's that hood? To be fair, Mike, NFL is whack. I don't think teams don't even know what's happening. Yeah, there's a lot of people, and then there's people like they hear something and then they run out and call Scheffler, and it's like totally opposite of what it is. But I think it's funny. You never know.
Yeah, we'll see what happens. Hopefully there's no more plot twists in the Raiders' favor today or tomorrow or the next day.
Your favorite car, Mike, right there. Your favorite car on the little avatar.
You want to do the same deal again, Jason? The Chargers win the division, paint the car. I don't know.
I hope the Raiders get somebody. If they get Honey Badger, he's going to take Jonathan Abrams' spot. And I haven't. If you guys know me, I'm a Raider fan, and I'm not high on Jonathan Abrams. I was like his first year, and now I'm not because he misses a lot of coverage. So if they can replace him and upgrade there, I'm good.
It's time to get the Raiders allegiance back together for a show because there's a lot of Raiders fans here in the chat. I see 116 is my notification for the chats. Thank you guys for blowing up the chat on this stream. It was a good one. And news broke while we're on air, right before we're on air, and chaos. Not a fan of Juju going to KC. Not a fan of Deshaun going to Cleveland. Not a fan of anything that's happened in the last couple of days.
Yeah, Abram is a linebacker. He's basically Jamal Adams to me. But I appreciate everybody tuning in. I will come back live in about 2 hours with Tony Tucker. We're going to do an episode of Sports Dummies where Tony Tucker and I just talked. Yesterday, we're going to talk about Davante Adams again. Why not? Because it's fun. Mike and Tony will also come back at 5 p.m. All of this is West Coast Pacific Standard Time for Nuts and Bolts. So you guys Charger fans, be ready for that. But all we know for now is the AFC West. Hey, before I go into the saying about the AFC West, how about me as a Dodger and a Raider fan the last 2 days, Mike? Freddie Freeman, Davante Adams.
Freddie Freeman for me, J.C. Jackson, Khalil Mack, and a returning Mike Williams. And Sebastian Joseph Day. Don't forget about him.
Raider fans are everywhere, buddy. That's right. That's why when people said, oh, Raiders going to lose fans when they go to Vegas. No, because Raider fans travel everywhere.
Can't escape them. Go to L.A., Raiders fans. Go to the Bay Area, Raiders fans. Go to Vegas.
The Legion of Boom. What are you going to call the Chargers defense, Mike?
Oh, we're the Jack Boys. We're the Jack Boys. Yeah.
AFC is the diamond of the NFL. Yes, AFC is loaded. Cox back to the Eagles.
Yeah, that just broke officially. Cox signed with the Eagles again. Yep.
You would give me all that crap about how I read stuff. I know. We're going to call the Chargers defense overrated.
Wow.
There's only one true nation.
All right. I'm tired of this. Appreciate you guys tuning in. Me and Joe are going to be live later on in the afternoon, so be sure to be around. I'll see you guys then. This is just absolutely